Good morning, good afternoon. If I'm sending you to sleep, good night. My name is Stevenson, Altidor. I am one of the staff writers here at Traklife Media Group. And today we got a special interview from someone based out in Maryland, Virginia. Let's just get straight to Ayotemi, bro. How are you doing? How are you doing, man?
Good, G. I'm good, man.
Hey, first I want to say congratulations on your first show in LA, your debut show, correct?
Appreciate it.
That was last night on October 12th.
I'm not sure the number. It was on Saturday.
Saturday? Okay, yeah, that's like October 8th is 8th night.
It was the 9th. It was the 9th. Yeah.
So, but how was it though? Was it your first show after the pandemic? Well, during the pandemic, really?
Not my first show. I've been doing some shows here in the DMV. And then I had the festival I performed at in Georgia.
Oh, Georgia? When?
The dates like a month ago.
Oh, you're a busy man. No, it's funny though, because like one of the things I'm gonna touch on is because you just get to it. You mentioned an interview with the Winter Circle about your time in college being an artist.
Yeah, shout out to them. Yeah.
Shout out to them. That was a really good interview. I learned a lot, but it's really, you know, the background of this transformation started in 2017 doing a praise retreat. So can you give a background exactly on what that is and what transpired there, and how did that transform you as not only as an individual but as a creative as well?
Right. Well, shoot, long story short, coming up, you know, I grew up in a church, not like no Catholic church, but African church, and you know, the spirit was there, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, the thing that plagues a lot of our parents and all of them when they're raising us is that fear, you know, that we're going to go off track. So fear was very much so a part of my learning about spirituality, you know, and hell was scary and I didn't want to go there, you know. But for real, my issue wasn't really fear of going to hell. It was just like, I know that there's a God. Personally, I felt that there's a God, and also I don't question what they're saying. So it's an alignment. But I want to be on good terms with God. You know. So I discovered weed, and when I would smoke weed and I was in a choir, I would sing praise and worship, I would feel closer to God. And I would feel like a veil or a certain barrier was being lifted. But the church was telling me that it was a sin. And if you sin, you go to hell. Yeah. So I went to this prayer retreat looking to hear God's voice. I just wanted him to let me know, like, smoking's bad, I'm gonna stop. Just tell me, you know. And God had a much more serious message for me in that time. And he basically gave me, I heard the voice of God tell me that I'm a minister. You know, I was speaking in tongues, crying uncontrollably in fetal position on the floor. And I heard the voice of God tell me, you are a minister, you know, and that changed the trajectory of my life.
How did you take that? When you heard God tell you, you are a minister, how did you interpret that?
I didn't even know. I was 17. I wasn't sure what a minister was, you know what I'm saying? But when I looked it up, it was like a singer in the choir, in the church choir. And I was like, okay, I need to sing in the church. But I also asked for wisdom around the same time. This came from just another, I guess, anxiety that I was getting older. I'm 17, I'm about to go to college, but I don't feel like a man yet. I don't feel like I'm wise enough to be a man. So
that's so relatable. That's so relatable.
Know, I had a fear that I wasn't going to be old enough by the time I was old enough.
Yeah.
So I was asking God for wisdom. I'm like, God, you said in the Bible, you ask for wisdom, it will be freely given. And I started to make revelations around the same time. So as my journey kind of continued like that, I made revelations that I wasn't supposed to minister strictly in the church, but I was supposed to minister God's truth and minister, basically be a bridge for higher frequencies to come through into this plane, you know, and that's what it truly means to be a minister. So, yeah, I made that through several revelations, yeah.
With that transformation as an individual and a creative, where,
Mhm.
it seems like wisdom was bestowed upon you at a very young age. And,
Now I know that was young.
yeah,
That was young.
because at 17, you feel like, just around the corner, death is always near. I think
Yeah,
that
and the
we all have
college
that age.
students, I remember being in middle school and thinking like the high school students felt like adults, and then about to go into college, I'm like, yo, the college students really feel like adults. Like,
Yeah.
I'm still a kid, yo,
No,
So,
it's crazy because I graduated last year. I'm 25, and I'm
oh
like,
wow.
oh man, college kids. I went to college. I'm like, man, this ain't that hard. So adulting must be easy. And then now I'm out of school, and I see the
See,
harsh realities of like life in general. Like outside of your
right.
dorm room, it's not safe.
That's true. That's
And
true.
you
It's the real
know,
world out here.
and the real world is really cruel. But with you, it seems like you and your music, and you mentioned this in other interviews and in your songs, you see the world as really is harsh. Like it's a cruel world, but you want to give that light of positivity to it always. You want to strive people to, reach for a higher purpose, a higher meaning, not whether it's not what society deems them, what that is, but what they find out in themselves. So then with that, do you feel
Well,
like that's a
I will say real quick if I can
yeah,
interject because um I believe very much so in yin and yang and the balance. You know what I'm saying? So as harsh as this world is, I do believe that there's more good than bad in this world. I do believe that this human experience is it's kind of like a school, you know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful social experiment in a way. Like it's like it's like recess or something. You know what I'm saying? Where like it's within a particular confine, but we have the ability to kind of, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that you're not going to scrape your knee on the
yeah,
on the cement or get hit in the face with a ball or get bullied.
yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? It's recess. So
It's I find that funny you said that because I often say life is like an RPG, like a set like in video games and game.
RPG, those are the ones with the guns though, right?
Yeah, no, those are like first person shooters. So like Call
Okay,
of Duty.
yeah.
But the RPG can't have it. But the elements of it is like you have all these choices. The idea of you have all these choices,
Uh-huh.
and those individual choices will stack
Lead
up.
up to the outcome.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And each one is important. And life is essentially like that. You
Mm-hmm.
sometimes like, and I agree with the idea of the recess analogy, where it's a big sandlot. You can create a castle, you can kick it down. That's exactly what life can be. So
Right
in a
up.
lot of ways. So with your music, I was going to ask, do you feel a responsibility not only when you're making music, but also outside of it in your daily life to uphold not only what you heard at 17 years old and be a minister, but also for your actions to back that up?
Yeah. Well, I don't feel no responsibility. I mean, everybody, you know what I'm saying? Fuck the kids, you know what I'm saying? Fuck everybody. Like
Oh God. Oh God. Hey, look, I co-signed
nah,
that, but
nah, man, that's not at all the case, bro. I mean, I was blessed with this gift, and the Spider-Man movie said, with great strength comes great responsibility.
yes.
I feel like my purpose, and the purpose of every human being to a certain degree is to raise their own frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And because we're all one, by raising your frequency, you're raising everything around you. So it's a certain love yourself and love your neighbor kind of thing that's it's almost intrinsic to the meaning of life, you know what I'm saying? And then it manifests into my art as well, And because of the nature of life, everything in nature, everything natural, everything, even the air around you, and whoever's listening to this is in agreement with that kind of like positive growth spiral. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
when you attune to it, you give to it, it gives back to you. So it makes life very reciprocative. And
Yeah.
relational and loving interaction between me and life. And it's just natural for me to flow that way, create that way, move that way, you know.
Now, the positivity in music has always been a thing a lot of artists try to touch on. But in today's scope, where life, in lack of better terms, fucking sucks. Like it fucking sucks right now for a lot of people. Are you ever afraid that comes off as corny?
Well, I love that question. So this is the thing, right? And this is kind of what I learned when I realized that, I'm not meant to be preaching to the choir. I'm not meant to be in the church singing this to people that are saved and people that have come of their own will to God,
Yeah.
Just like Jesus did, we gotta, with this music and with our art and with everything that we choose to do to create, we gotta reach into the darkness with the light. So let me put this in less philosophical terms. Like if I was to write a song about a junkie that just spent the night in the gutter, and to write from that perspective, I would write from that perspective, but looking towards the light, in a way, and I'm so glad you asked this question, because I was just meditating on this with a friend of mine. A lot of things, I'm trying to bring it. Yeah. A lot of things in this world, in this reality that we experience, is very cyclical. Okay, so from the weeks to the months, you feel me? The weeks to the months to the years to trauma to patterns in our lives, very cyclical. You know what I'm saying? And if you think of this cycle, if you think of this as a circle, the reason why certain things and certain songs and certain topics that don't necessarily truly help are so relatable is because it traps you within this cycle, and it creates a feedback loop of energy. You know what I'm saying? But I believe the duty of art and the duty of my music is to kind of if the circle is flat, you know what I'm saying? You're standing in the middle of the circle.
Yeah.
Light shines down from the top, you know what I'm saying? The person looks up towards the light. They receive the energy to then break through the wall of this circle that is around them. You know what I'm saying? It's about breaking through these things.
Okay.
You feel me? No matter what perspective I'm writing in,
So,
yeah.
But then I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate because I love doing it. I ain't gonna cap with you. I love doing it. So, would you say that even though those songs that are a reflection of our daily lives, the daily struggle, the ugliness, the violence, the despair of it all, would you say that's a viable outlet for many people who don't have the voice to create that change, or to even sound out their pain that they're going through, when they listen to that song that narrates everything that's happened to their lives, and they go like, yes, like that's so me. Isn't that a way for that first step of forgiveness, that first step of self-care and self-love and realizing your worth? Can art also not be that as well?
Well, there's a beauty. There's of course a beauty in just a person realizing that they're not alone in a certain, experience. And that's very key to understanding love and interconnectedness on a fundamental level. So yes, it's just that also misery loves company. You know what I'm saying? So it's very easy to see or align yourself with something that is in that cycle, and it does not help you to get out of it. I think it's a natural thing for every human to grow and to evolve, and that kind of stagnant doing the same thing, repeating the same thing, it's akin to insanity. So just like I said, like I'm not if I was to write from that perspective or write in that perspective, it wouldn't be like, come on out of the gutter, you know what I'm saying? Let's sing a song and dance together. It would be very much so. Yeah, it would very much so, if I was to approach a project like that, it would be very much so me, you know, this is the thing that really unites us, right? Everybody has different experiences, but there's only so many emotions that each human being feels. You know what I'm saying? So it's the reason that we can all kind of relate to each other. If I was to write in that perspective or write a project in that way, it would just be sitting there but looking towards the light. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense, like that metaphor, just looking towards the light. Because if we have our eyes focused on the light, no matter what, we're gonna move towards it and receive energy. So
No, that was a deep.
It takes work though. It also takes work to get up, and a lot of people don't like to work, so it's uncomfortable. But it's it's self-love. It's self-love.
Yeah. I would say the journey to self-love can take many avenues, but there's only one destination towards it. So that's how I've always viewed it. Art is a very complicated thing, like you said. It can do both. Like it really can. It can paint that picture and make you feel like I'm not alone. And then it can also give you a perspective out of that dark place where you like, I didn't even see that was there. And that's the beauty of it. So that I want to fast forward to this question right here. What does the color indigo mean to you?
Indigo. Well, the color indigo, it represents. Have you ever seen melanin before? You ever seen like what melanin, the actual like molecule of melanin looks like?
No, I haven't.
It looks like a galaxy. It looks like the universe in a way. Like it's like that bluish purple sparkling kind of, indigo to me, the color itself, and how it kind of relates to, for example, like what an indigo child is and what, the concepts around the indigo. It's an absorption of light. It's a source. If everything was kind of absorbed into something as a color, I feel like it would be like an indigo, blackish, bluish, you know what I'm saying, purplish, beautiful kind of thing. So that's what indigo kind of, the color represents.
All right. So I'm gonna play a little game right here. This is the first time I've ever done this game. It's gonna be shitty, but it's okay. But
I'm down.
Indigo, when I looked up the symbolism of it, there were 3 parts that really stuck out to me. The first one was the idea of integrity. Second one was structure. Structure. And the third one was art, creativity. Now, when you hear those three words, which one at this very moment for you is the most vital one to your creative process right now and your career?
It's all 3 of them, bro. Because it's like,
that's cheating.
But look at what you just said though. Like structure, I could paint it like this. Structure is like the masculine energy, straight lines, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Boxes, analytical, you know what I'm saying? Business, timeliness, all of these kind of things. Mm-hmm. And then creativity. This is the feminine energy, you feel me? Flow, you feel me? Colors, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Love, the scenic route, beauty, you know what I'm saying? These 2 things are what I bring together to create my art. And then the integrity of it is because it is in tune with the Most High, and it must stay that way. And it can't really be tainted, you know what I'm saying? And it's authentic to my own being. So those 3 literally embody what I do in my craft and my art. Those 3 things more than most things, which is crazy you said that.
Yeah, and and so when I was kind of looked up, I find it really not odd, but like I remember going to the IG, and then you dropped the video, and that's when you started the Hello Indigo fans or something around that realm. I was really interested to understand, like, is there a deep meaning behind it that I don't see yet, or is he following the actual symbolism of the color, which are what I mentioned earlier. And there's also intuition. I forgot to mention that, but there's also intuition. And I mean, that's you already touched on it indirectly multiple times through this interview. So, you know, that wasn't planned, correct? That the connection between the colors and those three words.
It's I don't know where you found those words, but indigo is in tune with those words and a lot more words. I mean, hey, let me tell you what I mean by indigo. Like when I you feel me? So my generation, the generations after us, I believe that we are here at this particular point in time in the grand story of this whole thing to shift the consciousness and to shift the paradigm. You know, we are here to break generational traditions, you know, generational traumas. We are here to approach life as it exists, even with the current system and everything, in a new way. Entrepreneurship, capitalism, money, you know what I'm saying? Indigos, this is the same reason why an NFT, a picture, can be worth $3 million.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Straight up. It's because it's a different approach to these things that were so fundamentally locked in. You know, so I create my music for us and for the kids. You know what I'm saying? And the word indigo is you understand that you are part of this generation. You're part of some ancient texts call it the rainbow, the warriors of the light, or the rainbow warriors. You know what I'm saying? Here to shift the consciousness, here to raise the vibration, you know. So belonging to that family, belonging to us, and understanding that intrinsic power that you have, you know what I'm saying, by knowing your position, you know what I'm saying, and knowing your role in all of this. That's really part of the whole mission with this music, with myself being put in a public light, and, you know, the work that I'm doing on myself and reflecting how that work can manifest. It's showing that, like, look, you got intrinsic power. Everything in this universe will form around you to make sure that what you're doing is moving. Like, you just got to tap into that power of the Most High and the spiritual and the trueness, you know what I'm saying, of who you are. So, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting because when I was looking up the symbolism of the color, even though it sounds like that wasn't like the actual word structure and intuition, creativity, that had nothing to do with the idea behind the project, but it's exactly how you carry yourself every day, all day in this creative space. So
there's a reason.
So they go hand in hand. And I feel like a lot of people in general, that's related to a lot of people, you know, maybe not all three, but structure is very important for a lot of people. We all need a routine. Creativity, especially
because we need to channel that creativity. It's the same reason why a man and woman must come together, you feel me? Or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whoever. But like that masculine and feminine energy must come together to be one. You know what I'm saying? Because that creativity must also be directed. Like, there's a wholeness kind of aspect that we need to approach with, you feel me? And as every being, I feel like we should be, you know what I'm saying, working to balance between the masculine and feminine so we can truly, you know what I'm saying, manifest what we're trying to do.
Now, I want to jump back a little because you said, you mentioned the molecule of melanin reminds you of a galaxy. Or when you saw the picture, like a galaxy. And it's really funny because, you know, space in general is never ending, just like time. It's never ending. So when you mentioned, you know, this is the rise of consciousness to break a lot of generational curses, trauma, the things that are holding us back, not probably within our own blood in terms of family or friends, to broader aspects of society and the countries we live in, the world we live in today.
Willie Lynch.
So then when you hear that and when you say that, what do you want the fans who are not like you and me, who don't really see or have the kind of problems that we have, how do you want them to receive this album or receive this message? especially if there are opposing views religiously, philosophically, and spiritually from yours?
Well, this album's coming from a Black man, you feel me? Which makes it Black music. But it's not only for Black people, you feel me? This is really what I want you to understand.
Yeah.
You are not alone in this thing. You know what I'm saying? You're not alone. You're not alone. And for those that, well, you said something interesting. You said for people that don't have the same problems as you and I feel like every human being has a particular problem, the same problem that a child has, you know, a want to be loved, a want to be taught, a want to be seen, you know, the opposite of neglect. They want to be, you know, they want to feel part of a family, you know. I feel like every person feels these things and has these problems. And I want them to know that they are not alone. And not only that, but they have a family. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, but we are the most powerful family that the world has ever known. You know, and not only that, but we are built on a foundation of the most high source. I call it God among a plethora of names.
Yeah.
But because of that, we cannot fail. We've already won. You know what I'm saying? The rest is just how it plays out in the physical, but the war's already won.
But then, you know, you mentioned, you know, when you say generational trauma, that's dating back to like our parents, their parents. And you're speaking on now, you know, the world that we live in now, it's just chaotic in so many ways, from a public health crisis to, and particularly in the US, I'm only speaking right now for the US, public health crisis to political madness and chaos to so many other things where people are struggling to feed themselves, let alone their family. And they have to have 2, sometimes 3 jobs just to even live comfortably. So, and that's taking up a lot of their time, and it's the time we're living in now. So what do you see? Are you hoping, not just your music, but like from people in our age group, in this generation and after us? What are you hoping to create in that change, with that change?
I'm trying to create a certain belief in self, just a certain love in self. I feel like when you believe in yourself enough to create and enough to move in what it is that, you know what I'm saying, you do, you feel me? Just like you deciding beyond what realistically makes sense, it takes a certain belief in self. It takes a certain love in self and a certain tenacity, a certain tendency towards what it is that you've been blessed with. You know what I'm saying? I want people to have a strong enough tendency towards, you know what I'm saying, what is intrinsically them,
Yeah.
to be able to manifest from that place. Because I feel like our manifestations, especially the youth and the ones coming after, you know, are gonna be some of the most powerful works to shift the consciousness. You know, the physical is temporary. You know, all things come to an end, but the spiritual, the consciousness is eternal. So even though the physical is in turmoil, we're in pandemic, you know, it's natural disasters, you know what I'm saying? All of, like, everything seems to be crumbling. It's the consciousness, excuse me, that is the most important, you know? And yeah, I want people to feel that, to know that, believe in that, and strengthen that, because, you know what I'm saying, that power, that's the real stuff right there. You feel me?
And I find that what I really find unique is that, you know, speaking to you, I get a better understanding of what you want to accomplish as an artist and as an individual. But you know, listening to the project in itself, you wrap it up in a lack of a better way to say this, modern way, where, you know, you're using a lot of this
A very digestible way.
yes, and digestible
Yeah.
is an even better term. Thank you for that. But you know, it's digestible because, you know, you're using terms, you're using flows that are very, like, we hear constantly, especially I think on Peon, was it Peon or Yorkie? I think both actually. You
Yeah,
tap into
Yorkie in particular, and that's why you came on. You told me Yorkie was your shit. It's because
yeah, it
like,
is. Yeah, I
like
love that record.
even that flow, then I keep it clean, keep it crispy. When you
It's a
something like
triplet
this, it
flow.
be risky. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's you feel me. That was like me, like really like coming to the surface. Like, all right, you know what I'm saying.
And,
um,
and then the mixture of you know, rapping and singing, and then on Indigo Interlude, you stayed away from that with a very, like, probably the hardest hitting instrumental on the project, really. But you're talking through it. It's like, you know, you telling them pride is the devil. You heard what J. Cole said, and then in the middle of it, the synth stop. There's just the bass with a little bit of percussions in there, and you're like holding that breath. Is like, like storing it up, and then you say just breathe, and then everything comes back, and it's like a very common thing. So it's so, you know, it's a lot of things that you're saying there, but it's wrapped up in a very digestible way. So then, you know, was that a goal of yours to not be, like you mentioned earlier, you're not meant to be a preacher, not to sound so preachy, because it's easy to do that, especially on topics you know you want to discuss on, and then but keep their ear at the same time.
Yeah, I'll put it like this because I feel like it'll help a lot of creatives. And it's a revelation I made around that same time, like around 17, 18, you know. The truth has to be digestible. At the end of the day, we cooking meals, we cooking food, you know what I'm saying? You could serve somebody a plate with a bunch of chopped up mushrooms, chopped up onions, bell peppers, tomatoes, nutritious, and serve it on a plate. You know what I'm saying? They might eat it.
I'm not eating that. I'm telling you that right now. I'm not eating
that. They might eat it. You know what I'm saying? They probably won't. Whoa. We back?
Yeah.
They might eat it. They might not. They damn sure ain't gonna ask for seconds.
I'm not even asking. I'm telling you to get this plate away from me, dog.
Yeah. You feel me? But you could also, you know, chop up these onions, these mushrooms, some bell peppers, put a little, you know, saute with some Jamaican curry, you know what I'm saying? Put a little Maggi seasoning on there.
Put a little bit of rice in that, you know. Come on now.
Speaking of the triplet flow, you feel me? You could take a little, I don't know, Chick-fil-A sauce, something, some mumbo sauce, something. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, this tastes familiar, and saute it and serve it, you know what I'm saying? And you could change the look of it, you could change the presentation of it. At that point, they're eating it. It's nutrifying them without them even knowing what it is. They might even ask for seconds. They might ask for thirds. It might become their favorite food.
Yeah.
And now they're getting nutrified on a regular basis without necessarily having to know that it's mushrooms, onions, all of that. And then the ones that do know that it's mushrooms, onions, and all of that love it even more because they're like, okay, this is nutritious. It's delicious. You know, it's helping my body and it tastes good, you know? So
it's really just giving the people what they want, but in a different fashion from how they usually have it.
It's giving the people what they need and making it look and taste like what they want and showing them something new that they didn't even know they wanted. You know
I mean, I agree with that, but also I think people in general always want something positive. I think as human beings, we all want to be positive people. So we do want that
tendency.
But then, you know, like you said, if you're just giving me a plate full of vegetables and it's not even put together perfectly, I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm not eating this. I'm Haitian. At least give me a little rice on it. Like, damn.
Yeah, okay, you're Haitian. You know what I'm saying? Put some pepper. Put some, you know.
Give me a little grill or something. Like, come on. Like, what is, pagnon on pickles, like
some Sazon seasoning. Yeah, come on.
So I'm like, so then, you know, you give me something that I'm used to, you know, the rice, the grill, the pickles, the bun and biz. Like I want all of that. Like give me some of that. You don't have to give me the whole thing. And then you give me the nutrition in it, I'm more inclined to now have it and eat it.
Exactly.
And then I might even enjoy it. So now, yeah, it's not completely 100% healthy, but now it's 90% healthy. That's better than zero, no matter how you
Exactly.
look at it.
Yes,
So,
bro. And it tastes good.
look, man, you making me hungry right now talking about it. So like, you know, but and your music is like a reflection of that, because interviewing you, you know, it's very clear you sat down and thought about this like for a very long time. This is something you think about constantly.
Yeah.
But in your music, you know, you're adding the modern day love angle of just being with someone who's not appreciating you. You're adding the job, like, you know, you gave up all your royalties. You went from a prince to a prisoner. Like you know, and so that, huh?
Yeah, I can't wait for the people to hear this music, bro.
Yeah, so you're wrapping it up in a very witty and enjoyable way. But do you ever get afraid that, you know, not having that balance of, you know, of that flavor with what's needed that you want to send can sometimes be overlooked, especially in a playlist heavy era of music we're in, where we just want to hear a song we can pop in the playlist?
There's a lot that I want to say, and I love interviews for this reason. Firstly, you know what I'm saying? I look through my own. Well, let's go to the last thing that you just said.
Yeah.
As far as like people get, you know, it getting lost in translation. You could hear the song. You're gonna hear the song, because at this point it's a world where you're constantly being fed different stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It takes something that really resonates. And this is where it ties together. That tendency that people genuinely have towards that which is good and warm. You know what I'm saying? Just because of the fact that we're humans and we have a certain spirit within us that loves to be fed and feels good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That will resonate, and the strength of that resonation is what then's like, okay, who is this? What is this? Then you dive in, and then you have a world waiting for you that can show you multiple angles, and you can get lost in, and that's when you become a fan, you know, a member of the family, you know what I'm saying? And then you start to wake up to your own potential. Then you start to create with your own inspiration, you know what I'm saying? So I don't really fear, because of catalog and because of how much I can create, and because of how much I already have that's not even out, and what I will continue to create. What you're hearing and what you're receiving is Ayotemi. You know what I'm saying? And not necessarily a particular song. You feel me? So yeah, it's over abundant over here. You feel me?
And speaking of overabundance, because you did mention in the interview, there was another project that was supposed to be out before this one, Afro Velvet. And you made an interesting point in that interview as well. Shout out to that guy, first off. There was a lot of good information in there. I don't know his name. Shout out to him. Where you mentioned that you want to make Afro beats that is uniquely your own. And I find that really interesting, because Afro beats is already a very genre-filled platform already. There's a lot of mixtures of Western methodology of music, Europe, particularly the UK, different regions of Africa in itself have different styles of music that they add into Afro beats, which if the listener don't know, is originated from Nigeria. Afro beat, completely different in terms of structure and style. Afro beats is based off that, but now more other genres are come in, and it can basically fill in any spot and just make it unique to that country or artist. So then for you, how is it, how can you, how you feel so confident about making Afro beats music that no one's heard, or that's a unique on itself, when really Afro beats is already unique just based off how many elements you can put into it?
Well, I'm not reinventing the wheel.
Yeah,
that's not what I'm saying. There got to be a wheel to roll. You feel me? But I've discovered my sound. You know, I've discovered my integrity. You feel me? My authentic power. You know, as far as my sound, and I'm finding that whenever I apply my sound to any canvas of any genre, it manifests into something unique to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So to put in a metaphor, I'm not saying I'm about to build my own canvas. You know what I'm saying? But the picture's for sure different. You feel me? Very unique, very beautiful. And that's that project that's gonna come later on down the line.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So this is the evolution of that idea that you originally had. That's a completely different ideal in itself.
Say it one more time.
It's not the Afro Velvet is not the evolution of Indigo is not the evolution of Afro Velvet. Afro Velvet is just a completely completely different sound on its own.
Well, Indigo and the concept of being an indigo child and being, being part of, the chosen generations and just being part of being in alignment with that inner child, and growing that inner child. That's kind of like a underlying theme that kind of threads all of my music and my purpose together.
Okay.
You feel me? So Afro Velvet is another lens.
Okay.
There will be multiple lenses, multiple dimensions to how I express this, because the goal is to reach all four corners of the earth with it. You know what I'm saying? Certain people are going to love Yorkie. Some people are not going to like, some people are not going to like Indigo rap. Some people will, but yeah, we just take it creation by creation. You feel me?
What is your favorite track on this project?
Favorite track? I've had each song on loop at a certain point in time. You feel me? So it's the kind of project where
I was gonna say, so then let me rephrase it then. Which song connects with you the most off this project?
At this current time?
Yeah, in this current time.
Peon.
Oh, interesting. Why is
Peon, that? You're witnessing the journey of a peon to a king, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, not a peon, you know what I'm saying? But there's a certain power that comes from realizing oneself. I'm not even talking about like the external validation, but
yeah,
coming to the point where, my conversation with God is continuous and that relationship is building and my internal power, my authentic power is growing. Yeah, that's the internal transformation. So I'm feeling that it's manifesting and it's at the point where God feels like I'm ready to where like situations like this, opportunities like this manifest. And now I can speak, and I have enough wisdom to talk to God before and be like, speak through me, yeah, so.
Is there a release date yet or confirmed or for this project?
Yeah, Peon drops November 11th.
That's the first single?
Yeah.
And so
Peon drops November 11th.
And the actual album doesn't have a release date yet, correct?
November 26th.
November 26th. Oh, that's just around the corner then. Okay, so yeah. Traklife Music there.
Yeah, so for real, we figured this out yesterday.
So. Oh, thank God. Okay. All right. Yeah. So then, so now we're near the end of the interview. When this album comes out, first of all, before I get there, what has been the hardest part about creating this album?
Shoot. I made the album in like 10 days in my room in the seat. So that was smooth. But it's about getting the project to sound how I want it to sound. You feel me? Plating it. We've cooked it. Now it's time to plate it.
Yeah.
Put it in a way that because I want it to reach many people. You know what I'm saying? So we got to present it in a way that is new, is fresh, is so digestible for the eyes and the ears, So getting it and then the marketing, like it's the feminine and the masculine. So maybe not difficult, because, you know, God is making all types of things align in my favor for it to just manifest the way it needs to. So I won't say the hardest, but it's the most tedious, because it's the physical, it's the day by day. Like, it's not instant. For me, creating this happened in a span of 7 to 10 days, because it was just me, it was just creativity. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that slowed it down was the fact that I had to record it. You feel me? But like, with the other side of it, the mixing and mastering has to take time. The development of the relationships to find the people, you know what I'm saying, that are going to do it right and believe and truly communicate the vision.
Yeah.
And then the marketing, the different teams that come in, the different meetings.
What is the marketing plan?
What is the marketing plan?
Yeah, is there one set in stone? Is it still, are they still working out the kinks? Like, exactly, like how are you planning to reach this album to the masses?
Still working out the kinks. I still got a couple meetings in the process of getting set up.
Okay.
But everyone that is necessary for this to manifest the way it needs to, you know, it's a movement, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm not at the point where I'm able to pay everybody and have everybody be able to feed their children off of what I'm working on. So it's very much so like a movement, a unity of consciousness and believing in this.
All right.
So yeah, we're working it out.
Now, to end this interview, I want to give you the floor. For anyone who's just now discovering you through this interview, who recently discovered you through social media or any of your songs, even your YouTube channel and on the group, your group you have, when on their first impression, what do you want to say to them to make them not only stick around for the album, not only stay around as lifelong fans, but also for your ideal of raising that consciousness, making a group of people around the world, you know, love themselves and love what they do in a positive manner that affects change? What is it about exactly do you want to say to them to reel them in?
Well, look, man, you're not doing this shit alone. You know what I'm saying? Trust, you feel me? Trust. You're not doing this shit alone. Only reason I'm being elevated to this world stage that I'm about to be elevated to is to show you that, you know what I'm saying? You're not alone in this. You're not alone. You're not the only one going through problems. And you're not alone even in your own problem by yourself, because you have the Most High. God is real, you know what I'm saying? If you don't believe that, ask him to show you, you know what I'm saying? God's real. Oh. So you good. And this music is coming from that source. Like, tune in, shoot.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Indigo. Is this your debut project, by the way? Or not debut album, like full fresh release?
Yeah, this is my first cohesive, concise body of work on Spotify and all types of things like that. It's called Indigo Rap.
Indigo Rap.
Yeah,
coming out November 26th.
November 26th. Yeah. We stamping a sound and a genre and a different thing, a different approach. You feel me? So yeah, man. My name's Ayotemi.
First single, Ayotemi. Peon comes out November 11th. The album, Indigo Rap, comes out November 26th. Thank you so much for speaking with us, man. Great conversation. Hopefully I get to speak with you after the album comes out. Really, really would love that. And
yes, sir, man. Anytime.
Thank you so much. And my name is Stevenson Altidor. And I hope you guys stayed here for the next time on the next artist interview. Have a nice day, nice night. Be safe out here.
Blessings, your love.